Let's say I came up to you, a stranger, and I gave you a big wad of cash, $1,000. What would you do with that money? Now I want you to imagine that 1 minute later, I have you open your mouth, I look inside that mouth, and I tell you, hey, listen, that mouth of yours, that mouth that doesn't hurt, it has an infection, and I'm gonna fix it, but it's gonna cost you $1,000. Think about what goes on in your head. Think about how you feel towards me, and then ask yourself, as a dentist, as a dental professional, do we truly understand the nature of psychology that goes on behind financial decision making? What I decided to do over the past 5 years is spend an extensive amount of time researching psychology behind financial decision making. And I realized that there's 5 barriers to saying yes to dental treatment. Those 5 barriers are the tendency to follow the herd, emotions being much stronger than logic, loss aversion, distrust of a stranger or distrust of a newcomer, and then something called detail exhaustion. That's a problem that I certainly have. See, these photos that you see right there, these are logical. These are photos, diagrams and x-rays that I used in the first half of my career as a dentist because they were so logical. And I felt like they were so easy to use while educating my patients. The problem is that they create no emotional connection. Why? Because when a patient looks at that, they don't see themselves. They just see some weird nebulous thing. On the flip side, if you show a patient themselves, they're going to create an emotional connection to what they see on the screen. You might look at that, look at the patient, and say, tell me, when you look at that screen, what do you see? And then let the patient answer. And after they answer, ask them, how do you feel about that? Let them become emotional about what they feel when they look at that image on the screen. What do you think is going to happen if we do nothing? And how would you feel if this was perfect? Now, if you notice, I didn't talk about veneers, I didn't talk about implants, I didn't talk about myself. I didn't talk about anything that the practice offers. All I did was ask questions that are designed to elicit an emotional response. And that's the key. Now, the only way you can do that is with photography, is by making sure that high quality photographs are in front of the patient during every single one of these interactions. And the only way you can do that is by using high-level dental equipment. Here are the rules I like to say. For a camera that takes great photos, it's got to satisfy 2 requirements. Number 1, the worst person in my office, the crappiest photographer, has to be able to grab it, point, shoot, and still take a beautiful photo. That's number 1. Number 2, it has to be something that I can grab with bloody hands, saliva-y hands, and that can be wiped down very easily. And I have found that those 2 requirements are very easily fulfilled with the iSpecial camera by Shofu. The second requirement involving intraoral photos is an intraoral camera that's inexpensive enough so that every one of my operatories can have one and it's very easily accessible. And that again is offered with the iCam camera, which is a very inexpensive and high quality camera. And then I had to invest in televisions or monitors in front of the patient so that these conversations can be had with the patient staring at their own dental situation. And the problem with recommending expensive dental treatment that's technical and that's weird, is that I'm still a stranger. Even if I can create that emotional connection, they don't know me, they don't like me, they don't trust me. I'm just a stranger. So how do you overcome that? Use the free magical power of your phone and the internet. You can take nice photos of your team being showcased as a fun team, or your team that is showcased as a kind and gentle team, or a team that's showcased as a clinically superior team. And make sure that those videos are put online. Put them on Facebook, on Instagram, and put them on your website. Majority of your new patients are going to spend some time scoping you out. They're going to do their research and decide whether or not the nature of your office relates to them. whether or not you as an individual dental practitioner is somebody that they can like and they can trust. And so start creating these videos. They're actually pretty easy and they can be quite enjoyable to actually create. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I'm sorry that I couldn't get into all of the barriers, but like I said earlier, all of my handouts are on my website, BeBetterSeminars.com. I hope you learned something today. Enjoy.